Kids are asleep. It's a little bit before 9 o'clock, and hopefully I'll have a couple hours to work here without them waking up. We'll see. Okay, so I think this popped up when I tried to load the chart. So that doesn't work. So my problem is that, yeah, that's what happened. So I cannot unload this. If I remove this, well, it removes it from this list, and I don't know how to get it back. So instead, I go to Morphic World, which I already had open. Go to the Monticello browser and remove Rosol 3 chart. So unload package. I don't know how to do any of this without these user interfaces, and it's extremely frustrating. So let's go back here. So top level goals, this is actually backwards. So what I really want to do, this is a stack, but and it's right side up, but the top of the stack should be at the bottom. So what I'm really trying to do is make an animation tool. Make an animation tool, so that's I have a Leopard page for that, but it's in a system I haven't loaded yet. And then I want to draw animated charts. Charts. Give me a second here. And then, so rather than write that myself, I was thinking I would use this tool called Rosol 3. So, use Rosol 3 rather than, and that means having to load it into GT, or having to get Rosol to run in GT. I've had some success with that. Last night I had this running, and I have a screenshot of this working. So on the, where was it? It was in the Pharo, in the Rosol thing. I've got some screenshots. Here it is running. My animation tool. So that's pure block with Mondrian, the graph drawing program or software. Rosol 3 has even more stuff that I would like to be able to use. This is their simple example. I got it to work. But then I had all these issues with things not loading the way I wanted them to load. Or just, I couldn't load the whole thing. I don't know how to load the whole thing. Yesterday I got as far as this. I've no longer got this state anymore. So I cannot get back to that state. I don't know how to get back to that state yet. I'm trying to do it systematically, right? Because what I did was I tried to fix the package and create and package what I did as this new configuration of Rosol 3, where there's a Rosol 3 whatever. So I had this starting to work basically, and then I lost it. So so then the question is, how do I load? I want this. Alt Shift, yeah. So I'm trying to get Rosol 3 to run. That means, how do I load my fork? How do I load it cleanly? And I don't know how to do that except through the UI, meaning this UI. And then at some point, I'm going to get to this point, and I have to do these in a certain order. And I think that if I can inspect the repository and I think I should be able to gather the order from the repository, right? But right now, because I don't yet know how to do that, I'm forced to do this and like hope it doesn't fail, because if it fails, like I don't know how to recover from that. Well, I guess I do, because I just did it, right? So I guess that was what I was saying. So if I hit load here, chart not loaded, okay. So it didn't load that. I tried to load it, it did not load it. And if I load color, well, then that worked this time. Okay, but if I go here, it just didn't load chart. I don't know how to make it load chart now. Right? Right. And if I load block, I think it's going to just completely fail. But maybe I have to say load here. Hang on a second. If I say load, I think this fails. Yeah, it fails by popping up this window and says warn about dependencies. Warning depends on the following classes. And so anything that depends on those classes right? So I can't. Okay, so that's a way to see the message. Go to the notification and see what the string is. So these are all things that are failing to load, basically. Okay. There's no scroll bar here, so I don't know how to get to the bottom of the list. There's a lot of them. Right, so you'll see at the very top what it says. Depends on the following classes: builder, abstract container builder, and pop-up. Okay, so is there builder? Yeah, so maybe I can load builder first. Gotta remove this again. Unload package. I have no idea how to see what this does. I don't know enough. I know that there's some way to there's some magic keyboard shortcut I can use to make this at Halo. I'm gonna see, but I can't do that because it's gone now. Browse package. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. All I know how to do is remove this, unload this package. I don't know how to figure out what this does. That would require digging into the source code for this tool. I mean, probably the inspector lets me do it. I don't know how to use the inspector, right? So, I mean, I don't know how to dig into Pharo to make that work. So, the point is that basically, you know, I have to do all this. Hello, testing. Okay, so now OBS just. Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically, I've got to load these things in a certain order. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it programmatically. I don't know where to look. I read the documentation. It does not cover this information, right? Presumably, this just works in outside of Glamorous Toolkit. And just stock Pharo, it seems to just work. It does take a long time, but you know, when I tried to load it the way it's supposed to work, it took hours, right? So yesterday, what I did is I made this repository here, local repository here, and I was somehow able to just load all of these. And I think what I did is, I don't know what I did. I think what I did is I did this, and then I ran the code, right? this I ran some code here. Only this no longer works. So I've made some changes, and this no longer works. I made changes to, if you load the object profile one, the company that makes Rosal 3, I think that works. But I added this GT full thing. I'm trying to make a branch here, and so that no longer works. This does not work, as far as I know, because I tried to run it earlier tonight, and it took an hour, and nothing happened, so I just killed it. Like, it should take seconds or a minute, a minute or two. And it took an hour, and I don't know what it did. I have no way of inspecting what it was doing. I don't know anything about it. So, right, so I'm really trying to make an animation tool, trying to draw animated charts. I'm trying to use Rosal 3, trying to get Rosal running in Glamorous Toolkit. I don't know how to load my fork cleanly. And then I don't know how to, because I want to not, I want to write a piece of code that loads it for me, right? And I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to get, I don't know how to get the, this is something you do once, like adding this here, like adding this. This I did by pressing this button, and I hit load a local repository, and I navigated to the place I wanted to load. It's cumbersome. You have to do it every time you refresh the image. You shouldn't have to do that. There's a way to do it programmatically. I want to figure that out. But that's not the end of the world. I don't need to do that way. But I do need, once I have this loaded, I need to load these packages, and I need to know what that button does right there. And if I inspect that button, let's see, I'm not sure I've actually inspected this button, but it does action self-load. It's a package, and you load that package. So if I could get a copy, if I could somehow get access to this repository, maybe I could just tell it to, I don't know, right? So I know how to get the view for the, so I close this, and I just alt-click on packages. I can see how to get the packages. Iceberg working copy, GT packages rest. I don't know how to make an Iceberg working copy, right? So I need to inspect, I need to go back further, right? Right, because I don't know how to get this tool, unless I put my code to do all this stuff inside this tool, like in a snippet here. But I could do that. Like I could open this up here, and I could say, self Iceberg working copy, right? Iceberg working copy, and I could inspect that, and I get the actual thing. I get the ice working copy. Maybe I can just create an ice working copy. I think maybe that's possible. Add pack to name. I think when it says working copy, that's not what I think of it. This is something to do with inside the image, right? But it's close enough, right? It's close enough. Because it's clearly. And so then what was the button? Let me do that again. So I said the packages, and I alt-clicked on packages, and then that gave me the source code for this. So GT packages for a, so stuff has working copy. GT packages for a view. That's, ooh, that loads this view. And then items, ice sorting strategy, new first modifies, sort self packages. Packages. Right? And now I have the list of packages. And if I just look at the first one, Okay, so the question is, how do I get an Iceberg working copy? Okay, so let's browse. Let's browse, or not browse it, but inspect that again and look at the. Oh, do that. Control G to inspect it. It seems like I should be able to get this. Right? Anyway, so back to my top level goals. So how do I load it? And then the question is, how do I load each repository? How to how do I load the local Git repo from a script, and how to load the package from the repo, and then also how to load them in the right order, in an order that doesn't fail. Right. So I think Metacello is meant to do that for me, and the baseline stuff is meant to do that for me, but it's not working, and so I need to like fix and debug that, right? So, okay, so then because I don't know how to get this, I don't know how to get this Iceberg working copy, right? Iceberg repository working copy, Iceberg repository. Where did it come from? Okay, so I've got to get GT Git repository meta, and it has these descriptions, right? So yeah, I don't know, like somewhere in here are the commands that allow it to connect to my local, right? But see, it's already got an Iceberg repository. Like something has already been done to make this thing set up correctly, right? And I don't know how to do that. And that brings me to the next goal, which is how to inspect and browse code for the top level GT tool, right? So that's what I want to do. That like this is quite a jump from here. It's a little bit of yak shaving, but I feel like if I could understand how to get at anything from here, then I think that I'm in a good I'm in a good spot, right? So that's what I want to focus on right now. I want to invest some time into looking at this. When we say initialize, right? It's got GT method, GT home initialize, right? Now we look in here, initialize panes, right? The vertical layout, it's got panes, right? Let's do this. Panes, right? So sections holder, I think, is this, right? This is the notification element, or rather, no, it's actually right here. There's nothing here. It's invisible. Tool section. Yeah, let's Control Alt Shift, and just click on here. All right, so the world element is the whole thing. This is the thing on the right-hand side is the scene driller, right? So this is itself. I don't know what this is. You have a tab group. So you have a world element at the very top. Then you have the tab group. And you have the header and the content. So the header is that, and the content is here. The header is the tab bar. Have I even gotten that far? So I think what GT Home does is GT Home creates a GT world, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong. Hang on, let's see this. Close this. Close this inspector. GT Home is a BL element. Okay, so maybe GT Home is just the home page. If I go here, this is the GT Home. I think that's the case. Let's try that again. If I click on this, is this a GT Home? Yeah, this is a GT Home. Everything in this little area is a GT Home and has that tab. So I actually need a GT World element. Let's start over. Oh. All elements must not have parent. I don't know what to do. All I did was I closed the inspector while, is that? That's clearly a bug. I didn't tell it to delete that. This happened to me earlier tonight too. Let's just replicate that. That's here. Inspect anything, GT World element, X. Yeah. Okay, so do not, okay, do not do this. And task. Do not inspect the GT World element. Maybe I should make a note of that to make a bug report. So GT World element, if inspector is looking at GT World element and you close inspector, you will lose the entire GT UI. Okay, so don't do that. Let's run that again. Lesson learned. Okay. But that does bring up the question, what is a GT World? Subclass of GT World tab element. GT World, none of these have comments. Probably, right? If I look on the packages, Toolkit World, yeah, almost nothing has comments. So presumably a GT world is a space. Okay, so GT world contains a GT world element. If I just say GT world open, GT world new open, I bet that makes a new window. GT world new open. No, GT world open. There it is. Lepidor is not seen. Okay, so GT world open is the thing. Okay, so let's start with that. Top level goals. How to inspect code for top level GT. So actually, you can open a new GT window with the following. GT world open. Oh, actually, let's put that knowledge to the test. So I tried to do this earlier. So inspect everything. We're going to trigger this bug. We're going to close this. Right? We have a debugger. We have nothing but a debugger now. Let's even close the debugger. Control dot pops up this. Pops up anything. Right, now we can run some code just by inspecting something and getting one of these. Or I think probably we could just wipe this window out and just say GT world open, right? And just run this and control D to do it. Do it. Okay. So I couldn't do it there, but I could do it here. So from this did not work, so let's delete that. And yeah, I don't think there doesn't seem to be some other place to be. Yeah, so you just need to create something. You just need to inspect something so you can get one of these little playgrounds or whatever, right? And then now we can say you didn't see it, but it popped up this window. All right, so that's how you recover. I don't think you can close this window. Oh, you can. Okay. I don't think, but it didn't let me close that before. I had to kill the process. Maybe, all right, so Control Alt. I'm just exploring this. All right, so if I click on this, delete this. Debugger pops up, same thing. All elements must not have parent. That's silly. Close this. Now it doesn't close. Okay. So Control dot. Anything. Inspect anything. Let's do this. A delay. Because then. Okay. Well, whatever. GT world open. And then Control G on that and it opens. Okay, good. And then now this window closes. You just can't close like the only window or the last window. Okay, so that's great. So now in Lepidor, we can go back to top level goals, how to inspect top level GT. Okay, so GT world open. This is something you should memorize. You know, memorize this in case you ever wipe out the GT window and only have a debugger. Okay. Okay. Now, so GT world then is the top level. This is a type. So if we browse this, right. So I want Control Shift. I want a Pharaoh. Nope, I don't. I want a. I can really just go here. I can just go down one. Put a, yeah. So this is a GT class, GT world. extends GT class field space, which is what opens a window. Which is what opens a new block window, which is the class that represents a top level OS window for block. Okay. Okay, so now GT World, the GT World adds stuff to it, right? We'll say it's GT method, GT world, call world element, method creates a GT class GT world. Okay, so GT world element is where we start, right? So this is a subclass. This is a subclass of class GT world tab element. And not really sure what that abstraction is for, but GT world tab element, oops, sorry, I want to say GT method initialize capital E here, initialize provides a template method for creating the home screen, creating a Famous window, a G toolkit. Okay, so that's really what I want to see, and then initialize home element, right? And then so then if we go back up to or down to the world element, These are all the things that it overrides. Can I make let's make this the top level page so I don't get lost. How to inspect GT. Let's actually just browse this and initialize, right? World element, and then do I have an accessor for that? No. So let's call. I'm just gonna GT method GT world initialize calls GT world default world element. So which creates a GT world element. Which creates a GT world element. This is a subclass of GT world tab element, and GT world tab element initialize provides a templating method for creating a GT. So So the home area, this is the home page, and it has this set of things, and then there's a separate thing up here. So where does this come from? Menu. Where does this menu come from? Fodder and all these things. I would think that's in the tab group, right? So is it in the world tab element? I don't think so. I seem to I vaguely remember that this is. Hang on, let me go back to where I made some comment about this. Searching for GT World. That's glamorous GT World. Oh, I'm actually right here. I didn't document what I found last time. The home tool section. Home tool section. I think that's actually on the home page. Wait. I added something here. I did this. I added something to this list. No, I added something to this list. This list. Okay, but hang. Okay, let's. I do have an example of doing this before. So I can load a local repository. Again, don't know how to do that. Really wish I knew how to do that from code. Don't know how to do it. I'm trying to get to this point here so I can figure out where this came from. But yeah, I think learning how these tools work and being able to find the top level entry point for each of these will make a world of difference for me. And just documenting that. So I have it. So actually I want for where I put all my stuff. Tangent, so it's actually tsphero. And I'm going to import this. Images. And then just load, let's load Sketchlet. I really need it at this moment. But Tangent Store. Right, I never actually did that. Maybe. Okay, so this is what I want to automate, and this particular one is really bad, right? I don't have, I didn't do it the right way for Sparrow, and then Leopard. If I add this database, then it just there's all my stuff. And so now the other one is I have two repos that deal with this stuff, and the other one is flat. Then you say D, also in her, and this one is called block book. Block book. If I import this one. I don't know, somehow you can just run this. Like back, I think even if you, I can't remove this now, but you can just run this. And now everything's up to date. And then if you do this, right now we've only got 3 rows here, and if you run this line, see there's a Leopard directory here, and if you run this line, it'll load the report from the block book. Okay. So somewhere in here, I said something about, I did something that added something to the, well, actually it might be there now. Let's make a new window. Background. GT world open, right? And I do another one of these. Okay, so there's something I do that adds it to the UI. I don't even need this window. Okay. Probably it's in the block book then, not in here. Leopard, and then in the block book, load the whole thing. Browser. Right. Okay. So I had pileup. Okay. So GT Home Tools section, new pileup stencil. The idea here is, okay, so if I have this method, I see. Right. So there's not easy to hook this thing. It's not easy to do anything here. Really, probably this ought to be data driven, the way these are. But instead, this line right here, this thing, is created manually by this. Okay, so that. But while I was looking at this, I found another place where this is created, and I don't seem to have written down where that was. Home tool section. This is it. So add the tools to drop down as well. Yeah, and I didn't document that. Okay, so presumably I should be able to inspect this, but that is going to be more difficult. But okay. Yeah, this isn't something special. This is just created for GT Tools menu. Okay, so GT Tools menu is probably what. But if I say GT Tools menu new, if I close this, am I going to lose everything again? No. So what happens if I just say back to somewhere? So if I just said GT Tools menu new. Yes, okay, so that's it. So that's where the tools come from. All right, the tools menu. So let's move this over to the right a little bit. And here, this one is the tools menu. This is the drop down. Oh, this is the drop down in the upper right hand corner, which lists all the tools. Which lists all the you do that, you can see all of them, right? And I wonder what happens if you click on them like, okay. I need this. Maybe I'll make a note of this thing right here. This is the tab that says GT in the upper left. Homepage is the tab that says GT in the upper left. It's pretty much tools menu, but the code is completely separate. It has a section. It has a section that pretty much duplicates the tool, was separate. There's some notes about it here. There are some notes about adding to that menu here. That left section in. And I'm going to move this down because this is actually less important to me. Okay, this goes me. All the main tools, all the main tools that come with main top level tools come with G. Okay. If you inspect the result, the snippet, you'll see a live version of that menu that also functions the same way. That can also that can actually that actually works and can spawn. Okay. For example, if we click on transcript, we get a transcript. Now we don't need this anymore because we just put a note to it. We don't need this anymore because we can say kit menu kit. All right, so all right. All right, so now the question is, what do these things do? This is my thing. This is my little browser that I added. I find it easier to read, but it does not show the class menu or the class methods yet. Oh, it's actually not completely separate. Right, so because they both have the home tools section, right? Or hang on. The left section of that is what? Is a Qt class of that, which is a stencil, which is what? Which is a stencil that creates the left. So the GT Tools menu, so GT Home Tools section is this, and GT Tools menu is this. And if you look at it, GT Home Tools menu initialize elements has a thing called initialize elements. Right, so the home page is actually the primitive thing, right? So create the left menu. All right. If you look, if you look at GT method called initialize elements, so GT tools menu initialize initialize elements, you'll see that it adjusts picks out the picks out little bits of GT class, GT home tools section, and rearrange them. So really we want, really we probably say the tools menu. So probably GT home tools section new does the same thing. It does, but arranged differently. So you can do this as well, but it doesn't scroll as nice. Doesn't fit as nice. Fit in the inspector. Okay, so now we know how to get to the tools. We've documented that. I prefer this one. All right, so now we'll say like entry points for the actual tools. So I think GT inspector create on from show space with icon. What if I just said like GT home section? Hello, person who just showed up. I say Pharaoh, and I say, if I just make this, what is that? I just ask for that section. And I just put this here. 32 at, how do I say, 50 at 50. That's a button. Okay. That opens a monitor. Margin create. Do I need this? No? Okay. New. Probably don't need this. Probably don't need this. Okay. So that should be so, and then let's look at the other one. Let's just list all of them. Okay. Oh, this one right here. This one right here. But we want the get button, so let's just start with the get button. Get button stencil. Okay, so if I run this, that's nice. I can see the code. The GT gets stencil new. That's just the picture, right? No. GT get stencil new. So what if we just say GT get stencil new? We inspect that. Okay, so all right, so that's what we want. GT get stencil new. Open open new show self. The reason, okay, so yeah, the reason I did that is because it's not easy to get the current world, right? Launching a new flow, like it wasn't easy. If I run this, did not understand show space, okay. Yes. So this right here finds the first instance of it. And if you've only got one, you're good. This and then the question is, does, you know, so if you ran both of these, then you say W0 equals W, and then that should tell you if it's true or not, right? If we run all these, it should say true or false. So it's true. So that actually found the first one. First one is the default ID. I don't know what that means. It is default ID. Default ID. Okay, where that is. If you've only got one world open, you're probably fine. This did not seem to work. Because instance of Elif of Leopard Pharaoh snippet did not understand show space. And so then so from card, I had this stencil from this page. Yeah, so the problem is I can get to this snippet, but I don't know how to see anything else in that snippet, right? I don't know how to see the values here. Like if I say x equals 1, 2, 3, and then do that, I should, then now we've got a self and an x, but there's no this world. There's no this coder. See, it's not the same color that way. This coder world? No. But I think that's a morphic thing, yeah. That's going to give you the morphic world. Flow? No. Yeah, this is a model. This is not the UI. Which is this, which is why it's like we don't know how to get the world, right? We don't know how to get the current world from Lepiter. Because when we say this snippet, this page, this coder, they're all models. They're not, you're not actually getting the UI, right? So this snippet, it does not help you, right? Oh, that page scaling, how to scale the UI. I'm gonna put two windows next to each other. I want to see if this does anything. So we said we just open a coder or playground, and we say GT world open. Right, so now this pops up over here, and go back to how to scale the world, and I'm gonna set this to like 1.25. Or let's do something like dramatic, right? So we'll say like 2. And they both scaled. Oh, actually, hang on. It's actually this one that I wanted to say. So we'll do something like double the font size here. Nothing. Right, so this right here, this returns true, right? True. And so if I say launch a new flow, or launch a new flow. Same thing, same page. Effect. They both return true. But I don't think that's right. Let's go here to a playground. Do the same thing. So separate true here, true here. So they both have the same ID. How many worlds are there? $84. All right, so this says, I just print this is $84, and if I do it on this one and print this, it's 33. And if I say GT World default ID, 0. Can I rename one of them? Self title. If I just print that Programmer's Toolkit self title window 2. Oh, I'm inspecting this one. Window. So this is window 2. Okay, so we can say all right. So hang on. They always come up in this order. And if we say double click on window 2, and we change this to the first window, and when I Control D this changed to the first window, and up here, then if I do this, double click, and I say the second window, the second window. Okay, that did that. All right, so then if I say GT World space with ID 0, do with it, we're going to return it title. And we're going to print this, and it's nil. GT World default ID do nil. Maybe I don't need the do part? No? So if we say W equals nil, W equals it, and then we say W, aha! So this does nothing. Oh, sorry. Sent to nil, yeah, right. There's really no way to tell which one is the current window. That's unfortunate. And so that's why. But there must be a way. Well, ow. If I say GT World inspect, And that pops up a whole new window like this. Make it pop up over here? I don't think that's possible. There's no like this pager. Okay, so there is no way to get the current world. There's a hack, and I've seen this hack before. Current world. Current window, right? Yeah, right. See, it says each world, each selected as how to set, right? So in other words, we need to find the GT world element based on the name of the current page. I'm like, that's a hack. There should be a better way to do that. I think this is a feature request, right? Feature request. Just making a little note ourselves, offside. So this Leopard page, get the current window. All right, so it is not possible, it's not trivial to get the current window, GT window, from a Leopard page. See here, and then we'll copy this and paste it. See here for a workaround. So instead, if you want to add something to GT, you have to edit the home tools. Okay. Is this what I'm working on right now? Not really. The question was, how do I look at those top level tools? So let's close all this. I think this was a fun experiment, but I'm kind of off track, so I'm just going to close this window, come back to my top level goal here. All right. So an entry point for the actual tool. So the reason for going down that path was to figure out how can I get to the current world. So there is no current world. So we're gonna punt and say world equals GT world all instances last, and say world show space Hmm. Let me say create. Create. All right, so it doesn't matter if they like I'm just trying to inspect the thing, right? See also. Well, go launch again. See how to launch a new flow, right? It's not. Again, it's not easy to launch a flow from Lepeter. Again, see, it's not easy. So these just open inside inspectors. As of this writing, it's not easy to launch a flow from Lepeter, so these just open inside inspectors. This kind of makes sense. Like Lepeter is a recent addition to Glamorous Toolkit, and they bounce around through inspectors and inspect things, and then write the code in the inspectors. But then Lepeter was added to this thing, and now someone like me comes along and says, well, hey, this is a cool way to write your code. I want Lepeter to be the starting point. And I want to launch everything from Lepeter, right? And then I can't because these are not top level tools, right? So I want to make tools that coexist peacefully with the other tools in Glamorous, right? Oh, that noise is probably the little ball. I want to make tools that coexist with all the other top level tools. And as a user, I don't have access to do this. And there's only like maybe a handful of people who are trying to add things this way. I don't know if that's true. At least there's only a handful of people that have identified themselves to me that I've seen, right? That are active on the Discord and whatnot. And it provides instructions for like how to create a standalone application, but I don't want a standalone application. I want an integrated application. I want an application that is part of this system that has, you know, Lepeter and Glamorous be a part of it. And so that's why that's what I did here. But I have to patch something. And I don't know how to do that. And so let's not even worry about this right now. That doesn't matter. It's an annoyance right now. It does not matter. Because I can just as easily write this in here. And this works, right? I think. In fact, if I could get at this, well, let's see. What if I say GT git flow composite tool. So this by itself, you know, do it and expect it just gives you Git repository. And if I run the stencil, the full stencil, where is that? That's this. So a composite tool is this thing that has a thing on the left, right? Right? Hang on, what if I just say, what if I say, that's very generic, right? What if I do this? Is this the thing that causes it to flip back and forth? Flow tool new. So we're gonna just say, it never mentions tool again here. It says composite tool. Cool, so this could be inlined. All right, so we just say this. That was this. We just say this. Now when it's live, we get this and it can convert. Okay, so now I know what a composite tool is. That was a question. That was an open question I had. All right, so I'm gonna just make a note of that. So GTFlow composite tool. I'm putting this in a little note. This is what allows toggling at the top of a Lepidor. We'll see, the Lepidor page has the same thing, right? But then Lepidor page or whatever, or Git. GTFlow tool. So a tool is something that acts on an object, right? Default tools must handle object messages, even though nothing is using it here. Maybe that's what repository is. Okay, so anyway, wait, hang on. What is this? What is a get element new as element? This. That's the preview element. But this is a generic thing, right? So one of these two objects, I would think GTPager embellisher extension. If I browse that, or if I browse this, does it say what it is? Subheader class comment reference. Okay, so this has nothing to do with Git, right? It doesn't have the word Git in it. This is all just generic glamorous stuff. So either Git flow tool, GT Git flow tool, or GT Git element must do something that allows it to be new embellisher extension. Okay, this is it. But this is coming from some trait, right? So this is also just generic. Non-trait methods. What does element do? Content element. Default navigation model. I wonder if I was saying I wonder if like this is I bet this yeah so navigation model seems to be something that comes out of Glamorous. If I'm just like looking at this here, right? So when we say default navigation model, if I browse this class, It's just an object. On selection tool. Okay. This is it's just an object. Like if I run this, does it know anything about Git or any of my repositories? No. So everything is empty. It's just it's just a little object. Okay. Oh, maybe this, what is this? That's just a sidebar element, normal, detailed. Everything's nil. What about Git flow tool, right? Okay, only these two things are the only. I was looking at GT element, GT element. So how about the GT flow? There doesn't seem to be anything in here that says like look at all the repositories. Let's populate that list. So it's got to be this one. But this is even. What the heck? Where is this coming from? That's empty. That's a composite tool. GT inspector tool for object no. Extension tool composite tool. Composite tool. Here's the composite tool. GTPager create on I don't want to lose this. How do I get this? I got to get stencil new create. So new. So I want to be able to define that again with note reference. GT method. GT get stencil create. There it is right there. Okay. All right, so if I run it like this, Tool element must have a BR pager page model view model, okay? We say GTPager create on GTPager wrapper element new. Sorry, I didn't do that right. GTPager wrapper element new. And the tool is that. Okay. Or I just say this. Okay, let's do the same thing. But without the composite tool, we'll just add the GT get flow tool. We just say GT get element. I don't think that's going to work. It does? How did that work? All right, so okay, so GT get element knows how to do something. We just say create on gt get element new. No. So we actually do have to have this. So this seems to be the. This does something anyway. This actually works. This actually works, but you have to expand it. Expand the inspector. If you just run this, do this, then you have this. Okay, so something in here. Is there some self as pager page? Pager wrapper element. Okay. GT. All right, so we can say GT pager create on GT get element new as pager page element, and that'll do it. What if we just say? What if we just say this? No. Yes, but not like that. All right, so we have to actually have the pager. Same as just get. Right, so this seems to be minimal way to open the wrapping. Okay. Okay, so then I did not like the sound of that noise. My kid's up. Give me a second here. Yeah, one of the someone's up. GT pager, that's not right. Wait, hang on. I see the live version. And click on live and I'm gonna close this door so it doesn't bother the light. Okay. Right over here. I'll come over in a little while, okay? I'm just working on something. My wife is also working tonight, and she is working overtime somewhere for all night. The thing for the city. Okay, so we learned something about this. We know comes up empty, so let's see what initialize does. Title notify listener, add interactive model state, initialize view. It's subclass of so somewhere in here is yeah, I like that this is talking to Iceberg, but provide a committed push. There's got to be something else here that says something's got to say, ask Iceberg for all the data. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking for. This looks promising. I saw this a second ago, right? Hang on. This seems to be it. And it was like default navigation model, right? Aha! I'd expected it to like do this on initialization, but it's okay. So get GT get navigation model self repository. And so really ICE repository registry is the thing I want. The thing that I actually wanted to locate was this. So if we go back to way over here. Right, so this was spawned from another thing, right? This was spawned from top level goals here. How to load a local Git reprogram script. Right, and so in order to do that, I was inspecting how these top level tools run and how like the Git tool in particular runs. Now I've got some knowledge about that because now I have this page where I can, start my exploration. Probably I should refactor that page quite a bit. Right, so but it starts here. List the known repos. Right, so we actually want a Pharo. So add a Pharo one. ICE repository registry. Or we could say GT get navigation model new repositories. This is the same but makes a copy. But I actually want to add something to this. So let's go back. Go back here. All right, so now we know how that. Now the question is, how does this button work? So this must be something. There must be a method that creates this, and it should be in a well. I would expect it to have like a name like GT something. Maybe it doesn't. Birding. Maybe the thing on the left is the embellisher. Self new embellisher extension. But no. Maybe this is it. Add sidebar. Let's see if that's called sidebar. I look at this and I expand it, and then I Control Shift Alt over here and click on this. Is this called sidebar? It is. Okay, so that is the sidebar. Which did what for me? How did I find that? Initialize view. I was looking at the browse. What was I doing? I was looking at browse, right? Meta. And then browse. And then initialize view adds sidebar element as sidebar. Sidebar element is where? Instance creation. Nope. Sidebar element. Wherever that is. Okay. Access. Initialize sidebar element. Horizontal sidebar element new. Be left. Aptitude. It's just a generic thing. The sidebar element is there or not there, right? Initialize sidebar element. The initialization is just there's a sidebar element. Embellishers. Aha! Hit navigate. Okay, this is it. Update sidebar content. Where did this get called from, though? So update sidebar content. If we look at methods and we say search for update sidebar content, and then we say and just who sends that. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. So get navigation stencil. I don't know what I'm. So how to add a repo. Add a repo. And we'll move this to the left here. We'll move this to move this down. Navigation stencil, create list. We actually want so GT method, C GT method, and we're going to say this thing. Create list for. This is actually the, oh, it's a lot of nonsense. Get add repository steps. Or actually, we could do that and then just click on the meta tag. Same thing, but now you actually have a live view. So local page. And so GT get add repository stencil local page. Then actually creates the actually loads the repo. By doing this. I'll just copy. I'm going to rewrite it. So say add repo with something like this. Add repo. Add local repo. create repository. Repo register. Okay. So I think if we have this and we make a Git tool and we open this in a new window, move this to a new window. I don't have my Rosal tree here. So is this it? So say D source Rosal 3 as file filing. If I inspect that, I as path add local repo value. I think if I click this button, it's going to appear right here. Value was sent to nil. I have to actually run this first. Now, value was sent to nil. Add local. Oh, I didn't spell it right. Add local repo. Instance of absolute path did not understand create repository. Instance of byte string did not understand create repository. Okay, so that wasn't enough. Oh, because it's not this, it's there we go. I probably as path would work fine. But I didn't. Okay. Run this. Let's merge these two cells so I'm not having to go with that issue again. Small. Needs to be big enough that I can see the effect. Make this a little bigger. Okay, and then run this. Instance of absolute path does not exist. Okay. How about as file name? Byte string did not understand exist. File reference. There we go. And there it appeared. That was it. That was what I needed to do. I hear a baby waking up. I just wanted to post what I found here because someone asked this question and asked us on an iceberg. So this, you reply to yourself, yeah. This seems to do what I. Let's say based on the Git tool that comes with. Probably this could be combined together too. All right, well, I hear a baby waking up, so let's just go. Let's end this. So this got me through the first part of it, which was adding the local repo. The next step is going to be how do I get the packages in that repo and how do I load them? Yeah, so that's this right here. I really like this view of like showing your stack of like what you're working on. Because as you can see, I get interrupted often, even in the middle of the night. It's 11:18 right now. My baby's waking up. I'm not sure what to do about this now where I've moved on to the next thing. So I got to figure out where do I, what do I do here?